Go.
All right. These are Lowe's 2725, Mrs. Clark's video notes for her detail. A couple things about this kitchen that are unusual. Number one, it's the exact same house I used to own. So Heather, when you start looking at this layout, this was the same house we had in Montrose. You'll remember it whenever you start seeing it. So a couple things to show you around the room. 9-foot ceilings. We have crown molding at the ceiling line. We have the miterless blocks in the corners. See those up there? So we have an overall height at 42-inch upper cabinets that'll work just fine with those miterless blocks. But we can't stack cabinets. We have to stay inside of an 8-foot tall profile to make sure none of that molding conflicts with anything that we're working on. Likewise, we've got a couple things about the corner angle sink and the walls that need to be looked at. Basically, this is a 24 front, 42 by 42 angled sink base with a built-in wall side, okay? But the walls themselves behind it, the knee walls, are 48 inches long from the corner. So at this point, we were wondering, does it have floor and everything underneath it? And sure enough, I have 4.5 inches of toe kick underneath all this. When I look underneath the dishwasher beside the side of it, the wood flooring goes all the way back. So I'm pretty comfortable in telling you that the wood floor is underneath all of this. Whether it's finished or not, I don't know. I've given you actual measurements then on how far it comes to the edges of the stove opening, as well as on this side where the stove opening is. And that length is actually the countertop length, okay? I've also given you some measurements on where these upper cabinets come to and what this upper piece would have to be. I think it's a 30-27 if we went to that another height, that 42 height. Now, I've showed them some videos on some of the design tips and tricks, and some of the things I showed them as far as the bump out section above this would work real good if we wanted to make this cabinet a 14-inch deep or a 13-inch deep cabinet to make it where it steps out some. It would also work if you wanted to do a step out and bump up and have two different levels, a 36 and a 42. They're wanting something besides straight lines. They want something that has some look to it from the front room. The whole house has got moldings and other things that this is just too plain. It does not look like it fits with the house. Same thing here. We looked in that same video, talked about a 21-inch deep or an 18-inch deep. We call it Mom's Attic. It's just a 24 tall or 20, I think 21-inch tall. We have to look. We want a 72-inch space. But a deeper cabinet here for sure. And that will also give you a jog in the upper molding that will look nice. Now in this kitchen, builder basic, right? You got the corner cabinet, you got the blind, but the angle corner cabinet would probably look a lot nicer in this layout. If not, then an easy reach corner, the double angle cabinet door, will actually look better in this one. I wouldn't do the blind again because the blind cabinets they're really hard to use at that height because of 42 inches tall. On the placement of your appliances, here we've got about a 2¼ inch space. Face of this is about 25. The return of that's about 24. I give you measurements on what the countertop is, just so that whenever you start to lay out the actual cabinets, you'll have both in reference. But the dishwasher is not against the corner. It's about 2¼ inches out from the corner. The same thing here, we've got a blind corner, goes back in the hole. Small trained animal, some small kid kick back in there and get stuff. Lazy Susans would work out better here if we can work it out that way. But in the kitchen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 drawers to the kitchen. So we don't want to put Lazy Susans in and then lose drawer space. We want to make sure that we keep it in at least 6 drawers to make all that look better. Same thing over here, we got a blind. Now, if you want to work it out to where you have a blind on one side and a Lazy Susan on the other side, that may be a good balance to where you can pull the blind into the depth you need, and then the Lazy Susan will be the anchor for the other corner. Just some ideas of things to do. Last thing, notice here, this is an outside corner on the wall. The moldings and everything come in about 4 inches short of the return of that wall. I give you a measurement of how much this upper cabinet length is. So you'll have those numbers on the drawing to work with. And then the last thing to talk about on the plumbing of this, if we decide to do this in a straight line, in other words, turn the cabinet to a 42-inch sink base and straighten this up, the plumbing is actually way back here underneath the faucet. It's way back in the back of the cabinet. So there's no reason that that wouldn't work if we want to make this straight, especially if the flooring is underneath it. So one of the things about this is the countertop and the extra bar top. If this is coming out here like this with an angle, then this will actually just extend over, and actually when you cut the wall off, it'll just go out over the wall and clean everything up, okay? But if you turn your sink this way and you go straight with your sink, then when this wall gets cut off, you're gonna have a transition here, an inside corner transition, that'll actually have to cover that wall where it's being cut down. So a couple things that are unusual there. If you have questions, you need to give me a call. It's 423-650-1051. Again, appreciate it very much. You have a great day.